Open, formerly known as Mises General Insurance, played a pivotal role in the UK's insurance industry, providing an IT platform linking the insurers and the brokers.
What we looked for in our financial advisors, and more particularly the provider of the funding, was the funding itself. We were very unaware at that time of the intricacies and subtleties of that little lot. And that's what Montague, that's what a financial advisor, a participant, needs to bring. And that's what was brought.
His idea of valuation as a manager was much lower than the value that we felt we could pay as a leveraged purchaser. And it was that interaction really at the beginning where we spent some time going backwards and forwards, understanding the cash flow dynamics of the business, and showing Philip in turn how a leverage structure would work, where he became comfortable trusting us with regards to the acquisition and the funding, and we became pretty confident that he actually did know what he was doing.
In time, Montague were able to convince Philip Bell and his team that a higher price was well worth paying, and the deal went ahead.
Montague have a great ability to concentrate on the important. And that's a rare skill. People get distracted by process and get distracted by ticking lists, or both Montagues and the management team concentrated on what would create value. And that's where we went straight after the transaction.
The business plan that we backed was essentially conservative. However, the big growth opportunity for Open was to automate the commercial lines insurance in the same way that personal lines had been automated. What happened during our ownership was that we identified a small acquisition which had the functionality for the commercial lines automation that we needed. So acquiring MI, the commercial lines business that we bought, enabled them to offer the same customer base. There was no cost of customer acquisition, a fully automated product over the other half of their business, essentially doubling the addressable market overnight.
I was very pleasantly surprised with the genuine acceptance, the genuine embracing of the fact that we as a management team knew what we were talking about. And one of their strengths is that they back management teams. They don't back them and then try and second guess them and persuade them to do something differently. They back the plan. What I wasn't looking for, and what I got over and above all of that, was some genuinely interesting, good ideas, some lateral thoughts derived from other industries, from their wider experience, and that was genuinely value, as over and above unlooked for, and that was good.
For more than a year after the acquisition, Open continued to perform extremely well, right in line with its plan. And it had soon attracted the attention of another potential buyer, Towergate. Towergate seemed in many ways the perfect home for Open, but negotiations proved tricky.
Their initial offer was not acceptable. I made a counter-proposal which was high in terms of the multiple of the current earnings, but which delivered us and management the return sort of what we'd expect over time. And we felt that we were foregoing a large future profit from making that commercial lines project a success for a really good return today.
And Montagues played a blinder there in terms of insisting on a price which I thought was probably more, even I thought was probably more than we would get, but ended up getting it.
On balance, the management and we decided that a £100 million uplift on a £180 million deal in 12 months was a good outcome, which of course it is, and we decided to accept.
And in the autumn of 2007, in the teeth of the credit crunch, the £276 million deal went through smoothly.
And then through the transaction to the sale, made us rich. And made me personally rich, and made a number of other people rich at the same time. But more particularly, accelerated the business from being disregarded in one set of circumstances to being central and being very powerful, very dynamically connected to other parts of a wider entity. That's been quite a transformation, and we did that transformation in less than 2 years.